Yo my people, welcome back to the channel. Another bit of breaking news. I say another bit of breaking news. There's a few bits of breaking news throughout today. Haven't quite kept my finger on the pulse throughout. I've been busy, but here I am now to go through all of the news that has broken today. Some Arsenal related, some not. And the title, Isak. He's all of a sudden available. He's handed in a transfer request or on the verge of doing so. He's indicated he wants to leave. He wants to assess his options. Both Ornstein and Romano have tweeted about it, as well as an abundance of other journalists or what some people might call in the knows. And even Grizz Khan has, reposted the Big Six's "Hey Isak" tweet from the other day, which he originally replied saying "F off" underneath it. Now he's reposted it. So, if you don't trust Ornstein or Romano, maybe you trust Grizz Khan. I don't know, but listen, hit the like button, people. Make sure you do that first and foremost, and make sure you are subscribed. The love that you've been showing the channel, it's been crazy. Hence why I'm doing more of these breaking news videos, and hopefully can fit in a couple lives along the way whilst I'm out here. But if not, I'll be back live when I'm back in London. But let's get into the major breaking news of the day. Fabrizio tweeted earlier, breaking: Alexander Isak has informed Newcastle of his desire to explore a move this summer. Club aware of players' plans and will now decide how to move. Newcastle have already restarted exploring a move for a top striker in the market. He also went on to say, understand Isak remains a target for Liverpool even after signing Ekitike. Interesting. But depends on Newcastle. If Newcastle open doors to an exit and Liverpool sell Diaz, then they can bid after direct contact made 10 days ago. Isak not in concrete talks with Al Hilal. Now you couple that up with, supposedly Bayern Munich coming back with an improved offer on the original 70 million offer the other day for Diaz. This could be the start of a domino effect that lands Isak at Liverpool. Now, I'm not too sure if that does play out. To be honest with you, I think Newcastle keep hold of him another year, but we'll watch how it plays out. My thing today is not about moaning. It's more about opening some eyes. Do you remember when, a lot of us were mentioning Isak earlier this season? Would have a lot of fellow Arsenal fans and journalists, even some of the journalists I've just named in Ornstein and Romano, saying Champions League football is essential for Newcastle to keep Isak. If Newcastle get Champions League football, then they'll keep hold of Isak. Now listen, that's a myth. Big players, the best players, don't just want to be in the Champions League. They want to be in it to win it. And with all due respect to Newcastle at this moment in time, they are, they're the richest club in the world in terms of ownership, but they're nowhere near winning a Champions League. And they're nowhere near winning a Premier League right now either. So that whole nonsense about if Newcastle secure Champions League football, then Isak's staying, which fellow Arsenal fans were peddling to each other, copium to, soften any potential blows coming up. You can throw that in the bin now, and throw it in the bin and leave it in the bin. Moving forward, learn from this, people, because when you're a big club, big money, competing for the best honours, and I say competing because we haven't got over the line yet, you can flex, you can ruffle some feathers, you show some interest, the player hears of that interest, sees the interest, and then it's up to the player to make a decision on what to do next. Liverpool showed interest in Isak about 2 weeks ago now, maybe just under 2 weeks ago, maybe last week even. I can't actually remember when that initial interest was shown. And lo and behold, just over a week later, Isak's seeking a move. So what happened to that Champions League football stuff? I'm not too sure, but here we are, people, here we are. Like I said, I'm not going to moan because I'm actually happy with Gyökeres. I'm intrigued, I'm excited by that signing, and to be honest with you, if we have the capacity to get a couple more players in, then I'd be still looking at a left winger and an attacking midfielder, considering we've already got Gyökeres essentially coming through the door with an update on him today from Fabrizio, stating that all the paperwork is done and the medical is due in the next 24 hours. Whether that medical is done today or tomorrow, I expect to see him in Hong Kong for the Tottenham North London derby. So in terms of Isak being available, I might do a cheeky little 75 million and Havertz and see what they think of that. They can get someone that creates space and invades space like no other, and they can put him up top, and that lessen the fee for Arsenal. Are Newcastle upset with Liverpool for rocking the boat and leading to this? Maybe. So, if there's an opportunity there, then maybe let's find out if something can be done. But the reality is we've got more pressing concerns in other positions. But I just wanted to throw out that myth that Champions League football is all Isak or any big player needs to remain at a club that are not actually competing for the highest of honours. They're just there, essentially, to make up the numbers, which is fine. Again, no shade, no disrespect there. We've been making up the numbers in the Champions League ever since it started. So like I said, Newcastle fans, I know you lot are all over the gaff at the moment, understandably so, considering Isak is a quality player. All round, I'd say, if I knew he was available, which, to be honest, I always said rock the boat a bit. I always said Arsenal, perk up, speak to his agents instead of speaking to, nonnies or whoever, and let's see if something can be done. If not, move on. There ain't no problem with that. But we chose not to do that. Liverpool chose to do that, and right now, it looks like Liverpool are still interested in doing a deal regardless of Ekitike coming in. But what happens to Ekitike? Is he going to be happy with his minutes? It's things that we would say as Arsenal fans when we, are seeking players in positions that we've already got players for, that fans are already happy with. But this is how you stay the best. This is how you stay at the top. This is how you stay competing. When a big player like Isak is available, then I expect most big clubs, without a striker of that quality, and I say without a striker of that quality because I don't think Man City go in for an Isak, considering they've already got Haaland up top, a very different type of striker, but still a striker that bags goals. In an off-season for him, he's still bagging 25 league goals, which is mad. 25 league goals is a great season for most strikers. So yeah, Isak available. Funny that. I'm just going to see quickly what Ornstein said, if it was any different to Fabrizio. Actually, Fabrizio has another one here. No. Sorry, I read that one. No, Chelsea not actively working on Isak deal and no interest in proceeding despite reports. They're very happy with their strikers and fully focused on Xavi Simons and Jorel Hato, who recently obviously became linked to Chelsea. Whether that happens or not, we will find out. But that will be two quality additions to Chelsea's team as well. But this ain't about Chelsea, people. Fabrizio went on to say, I understand Newcastle are attentive to Benjamin Sesko's situation at RB Leipzig, with Isak now keen on an exit. Newcastle informed on Sesko deal costs while working on multiple deals, including Visa from Brentford. So who knows, we might actually see Sesko in the Premier League after all, and see whether that potential leads to something special, whether that ceiling is fulfilled. Ornstein tweeted, Alexander Isak wants to leave Newcastle. Absence from Celtic friendly and Asia tour, 25-year-old's preference. Newcastle keen for Sweden international striker to stay on improved deal, but also exploring potential replacements. He wants to leave Newcastle, Newcastle exploring move for Benjamin Sesko of Leipzig in case Isak leaves. 22-year-old forward subject of long-standing Newcastle interest, plus top target should Isak depart. I can't lie to you, reading all of these tweets from Ornstein and Romano, I lean towards Liverpool actually being very interested in Isak still. And you consider Newcastle already making moves within hours of being informed by Isak or his team, of the want and need to move on. They're being linked to another striker already. So, Visa was already linked, but now Sesko's being linked. So it's going to be an interesting one, the way this one plays out. If Liverpool get Isak, I mean, even without Isak at this moment in time, I still feel we are short. We are a left winger and a central attacking midfielder short of really being a threat this season, really being able to get over the line, in my opinion. Some might think otherwise. But if Liverpool already add to what they have already, and that being Isak, then that's a big problem, people. Isak, Salah, Wirtz, all in one team. All in one team. And their name is still being linked to Rodrigo. Now, if Liverpool do it, it'll be an unprecedented window. Just in general, not even for Liverpool. That word unprecedented, it doesn't seem like it's us. It seems like Liverpool are the one moving in that manner this summer. But if they were to add Isak on top of what they already have, myth. They've already got league winners. They've added Wirtz already. 2 fullbacks in, a young striker in Ekitike. And if they polish that off with Isak coming in too, a striker that's banged 20 plus league goals in the last couple of seasons, we're in for problems, people. We're in for problems. But remember, when world-class players are available, we should be going for them. at this stage. But we got Gyökeres, so big up Gyökeres. Let's try and get Rodrigo in, people. Let's try and look at Eze. Let's get these names over the line. You know, we need a couple more additions. So let's, you know, not be looking at Liverpool, not be looking around and thinking, what if, you know, with a bit of envy. Let's do what we need to do so we can be confident enough to believe we are going to go win this league now. I'm just seeing a lot of tweets pop up from Newcastle fans flipping because the general consensus has been amongst them that Isak is staying and he's happy there. So this has come as a major blow to them. Liverpool fans have perked up. Chelsea fans are begging the club to go in. And it's been quiet with Arsenal right now in terms of, you know, any links to Isak. But Gyökeres, paperwork done. Mosquera has signed. No welcome video, people. I didn't have one prepared, and to be honest with you, I feel like in terms of the signing itself, a young backup centre-back, I ain't really got much else to say but good luck, and hopefully it goes well. And getting a number 3 shirt is a bit of a surprise considering that profile, young and a backup. The number 3 shirt is interesting. But yeah, defence stacked. Gyökeres paperwork complete. Just we're waiting the medical, and then that's that on that one. Hopefully we see him in Hong Kong, or I see him out here in Hong Kong. Well, I say out here, I'm in Singapore now, because that would be beautiful. Have him ready for that game week 1. But we're looking at Isak now, and I'm wondering where he ends up. Hopefully a European club, hopefully out of this league, because if he joins Liverpool, if he joins any big 6 club, he makes them a lot better. He makes them a lot better. He is a complete striker. In this market, a unicorn really. By market, I mean the striker market in general. The football landscape has changed an awful lot in the last 20 years. There is an abundance of quality players in each position, and he not only is a threat in the box, but outside the box, he knows a thing or two. Yes, he can play left wing. Before, you know, we got people in the comments saying, yeah, but we can buy him and play him left wing, but ideally you buy a winger rather than, you know, a striker playing on the wing. But, you know, we've seen that before and we've seen it work, and a number 14 shirt is still available. That would be beautiful, but it's unlikely. Let's focus on Rodrigo, let's focus on Eze, and let's get them in before the game week 1, people. But hit the like button, make sure you are subscribed, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below, and love for the love as always. Peace.